Good morning, happy Friday, and welcome to Sick Call. This week's episode, we highlight the Army's Clinical Psychology Internship Program. Joining us to tell us about his experience in the internship program is newly graduated Captain Raul Canchola. Congratulations, sir, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me today.
Sorry, I'm going to have you start over because I didn't take myself from the screen. But I didn't want to interrupt you while you're in the middle of speaking. So I'm going to hit go again and just run it through one more time.
Good morning, happy Friday, and welcome to Sick Call. This week's episode, we highlight the Army's Clinical Psychology Internship Program. Join us to tell us about his experience in the internship program is newly graduated Captain Raul Canchola. Congratulations, sir, and thank you for joining us.
Hello, thank you for having me. Happy to be here.
Sir, it's nice to see you again. How's the weather out there?
Nice to see you. The weather out here is beautiful. I am in Oahu, Hawaii, and it's always warm. Today's it's in the 80s, and most of the time it's nice beach weather. We are approaching the winter months, so it's starting to get a little rainy in the evening, but still during the day, it's still nice and warm to do all the fun outdoor activities, if that's something you're into.
Great. So, sir, you just graduated the internship program. Can you tell us about your application process for the internship program?
Sure. So I graduated the internship program last week. It's a year-long internship accredited by the APA. The internship runs from October 2019 through October 2020. And I believe all internships have the same cycle of October through October. The process to be a psychology intern in the Army actually starts a year before really getting to your site. So there's two processes happening when you apply. For a typical intern in a doctorate program, they go to internship their fourth or fifth year typically. And they apply for internships through APIC. And there's a national match day, you match, you go through your internship site. But for Army internships, you actually, in addition to the APIC site, APIC application, you also have to apply through and get in contact with an AMED recruiter, because you have to go through the military process, which includes MEPS, letters of motivation and whatnot. So to answer your question, there's two kind of processes happening a year before going into your internship year, which is your final year of your program.
I'm sorry, sir. I had my mic muted.
Okay.
What differences are there during a civilian internship as opposed to the Army internship, such as like paid benefits?
Yeah, so there's many differences. I would say as one of the benefits of being an Army psychologist is that you're also a commissioned officer. So as an intern, you do start at the grade of 03, which is the captain. And with that, you do get a lot of the entitlements and benefits that come with being an officer, meaning pay. For example, since I am in a high cost area, I also get COLA. I also get cost of living, or and with NBAH, which means that I get to live on post, or I can choose to take my BAH money, which is like your you could call it like your rent money, and live off post. And that's what I'm doing right now. I'm actually getting my BAH, my rent money, and I'm living off post. So it's one of the benefits is that, just cost of living itself and the rent money and BAH makes a big difference. But in addition to that, I think some of the little perks that we get throughout the year is we get to attend many presentations by guest speakers. We get materials to study for our EPPP towards, so we can become towards licensure. So there's a lot of little perks that we also get, I think, throughout the year. If you have a family and kids, obviously, healthcare and all that good stuff for them as well. It's also comes with that. So a lot of good incentives, I would say.
Nice. So one of the questions we are often asked is, what is the difference about being an Army clinical psychologist as opposed to a civilian sector within the scope of the job?
Yeah. So there are many differences, at least comparing from with colleagues and classmates that I've been able to compare with. Typically, if you do a civilian internship and wherever you match, you'll typically be working with that population. So if you match, let's say at a VA, you'll be working with veterans. If you match at a child clinic or maybe a children's hospital, you'll be working more with younger patient population. In the military, what's interesting is that you get to work with active duty members of all branches. So not just Army, but you actually get to be a provider for all branches of the military, and also dependents, and also and their beneficiaries. So young kiddos, if that's something you're interested in, and also veterans. So there's a wide scope of patient population and ages. Additionally, I would say there is a lot of specialized clinics. We are at a military training facility, an MTF, and being at a hospital, there are opportunities to do rotations through many clinics throughout the hospital. For example, my internship year, I was able to rotate through pain clinic, sleep clinic. We learn about like sleep studies. You get to work inpatient. So people that are actually hospitalized and they're staying in the hospital. We do rotations through emergency room, kind of crisis response. So you do a lot of little specialized rotations as well as your typical adult outpatient rotation and assessment rotations and whatnot. So yeah, I would say a military internship offers a wide scope of patient population and clinical rotations as well.
Sir, what made you decide to choose a career in Army medicine?
So so for me, my journey as to be a psychologist in the Army and part of the Medical Service Corps started many years ago. I actually was enlisted before I commissioned. I served in the National Guard after high school, and I also did a couple of years in law enforcement. My journey to commissioning.
Oh, looks like we may have had him freeze for a minute.
Oh, okay. I think we're back.
Back.
Okay. Yeah. So the journey is unique. My journey is unique, but the nice thing is that everyone's journey, everyone has their own unique story. So for me, I just became really interested in human behavior and why it is that we do the things we do, especially when dealing with populations, vulnerable populations, such as like individuals are incarcerated and individuals within the criminal justice system. So I really took an interest in forensic work and forensic psychology. As I decided to go to graduate school, I got accepted into graduate school. I started to learn about the many opportunities that one can do within the Army, especially being an Army psychologist. They do have specialized training to be a forensic psychologist, and beyond that, other fellowships that you can specialize in, such as you could be a health psychologist, neuropsychologist. So just when I learned about all the opportunities, and I still had that fire in me to serve, I would say I still have that fire, and I still have it, where being able to serve and give back, it felt like the right fit and the right thing for me. Just talking with the AMA recruiters and being able to connect with other providers, I think the decision and the choice felt right for me.
Nice. So, sir, can you talk a little more about the work-life, personal life balance? Is it a study 24/7, or do you get an opportunity to check out the sites like those nice beaches there in Hawaii?
Yeah. So our typical work day, our duty day is 7:30 to 4:30, Monday through Friday. So we are fortunate to have weekends off and have nights off, and I want to say that the amount of free time you get on the weekends and in the evenings is up to you. I know, for example, if you are an individual that is really, I'm gonna go to work and get my work done, and so I can have that work-life balance, then I think that you have plenty of time and opportunity to enjoy the beaches, enjoy the hikes. There's other individuals that rather be slower with their work, or really enjoy maybe connections at work. So, and they're willing to, sacrifice maybe productivity for those social connections, or maybe extra experiences. But in all, I think the work is manageable, to where you can enjoy your evenings, your weekends. And what's been nice for me, and I know we're kind of living through a pandemic, but even during the pandemic and before the pandemic, I was able to travel to the neighbor islands. So I live in Oahu, and since I've been here for a year, I've been able to travel to the neighbor islands, including Big Island, where the volcanoes are at, Maui, Kauai. So it's been nice. I've really gotten to experience Hawaii for what it has to offer. So a lot of opportunity to do that, I would say.
Awesome.
So, sir, speaking of travel, you have a trip planned at the end of the week. Can you tell our viewers about your next voyage?
Yeah. So this weekend, I am going to Fort Rucker, Alabama. It is expected that most interns, upon graduation from the clinical psychology program, we get invited to go to Aeromedical psychology course. And as part of this course, we get to learn what aviation medicine and aviation psychology is. We get to learn how to do flight physicals, flight evaluations. We get to learn what the aviation culture is all about. We get to experience what it is to be a crew member. We actually, from what I've been told, we're going to get to fly with pilots and do all that fun stuff. So I'm excited that this opportunity still is going to be offered in light of the current pandemic. You still get the Army's big with training. So if there's an opportunity to train and enhance your skills, those opportunities come pretty often. The nice thing about this is that I'll be qualified as an aeromedical psychologist. So in the future, if I want to work for an aviation brigade, I can go be an aviation psychologist somewhere. So it does give you a specialized specifier in your AOC.
All right, sir. So final thoughts. Is there anything you'd like to add or share to our viewers?
Yeah, so I would say that coming from an internship program, when I first started the internship program, I wasn't sure if I had what it takes to be an officer and a military provider. But really, a lot of our programs in graduate school really give you I would say the foundation, the clinical foundation and knowledge to come and do good behavioral health work in the military. Once you get to internship, those skills are significantly elevated because now you really put into practice what you learn in different contexts, from working in behavioral medicine with patients with fibromyalgia or maybe pain to inpatient, right? So you get to work with a diverse group population. You get to do so many cool evals. And I think most applicants that are going through applying for internship, more students are qualified have the clinical knowledge to do this. I think the Army gives you the tools and the resources to really take that to the next level and really be a good provider. And you also become a really good leader and a good mentor because you do the skills and the training to be what it is to be an officer. So I would just say that I will share my email and share my info with the recruiting station in Santa Clarita, and I'll have them share with future prospects or individuals that are interested in the program, and I'll be available to speak or to if anyone wants to reach out with more questions.
Appreciate it, sir. And thank you for being here with us today. Now more than ever, behavioral health is crucial to the well-being of our soldiers and families. Thank you for answering the call to be a provider and to your continued service to this great country.
Thank you. Thank you for your time, and thank you for reaching out. And I miss California, and hopefully I can see you guys soon.
So this wraps up our show for today. Thank you to our viewers for tuning with us live. And as always, we welcome your questions. You can comment below or on any of our other social media platforms. We hope everyone has a happy, healthy, and safe weekend, and we look forward to seeing you again next Friday at 10 a.m. here on Sick Call.
Bye.